53, find the standard deviation for the group data. If you can do this in your calculator, do it, because this approach I'm going to show is very involved. So the formula for the standard deviation of grouped data is the square root of the sum of the frequency times x squared minus, and then we get typical there, n times the mean squared divided by still n minus 1. Right, so the one thing that changes in this formula is we're adding a factor of a frequency there. And we have these frequencies. Now we don't have x values here, but I can create them by, here's my x values. So the x value here is going to be the midpoint of these intervals. The midpoint of each of these intervals. 50 plus 60 is 110. 110 divided by 2 is 55. Midpoint of this interval will be 65, 75, 85, 95. Those are the values we're going to use as our x values. Instead of using these intervals, we use the midpoints as our value. So that's my value. And now I also need to square each of these values. X squared. So 55 squared, 3025. 65 squared, 4225. 75 squared, 5625. I guess this next one will be what, 6225? 7225, yes. And 95 squared, 9025. Okay. So now let's work on populating this formula. I'm going to start it over here. Well, yeah, let's do that. So we've got S equals the square root of, so let's multiply the frequencies. That's why I didn't want to do that there. I remember now. So now let's extend this and let's multiply the frequency, which is the frequency here, times the x squared. So that's 30250. 4225 times 14, 59150. 5625 times 6, 33750. 7225 times 5, 36125. 9025 times 5, 45125. So that's my frequency times the x squareds. Let's add these up so we get that sum there. 3250 plus 59150 plus 33750 plus 36125 plus 45125. That is 204,400. So now I can start here. Let's start a little higher. Give me some more room. So S equals the sum 204400 minus n. How many values do I have? Add up the frequencies for that. 24 plus 6 is 30. 30 plus 10 is 40, right? 24 plus 6 is 30. 30 plus 10 is 40. So I have 40 values times my mean squared. What's my mean? Well, let's see. So I need to multiply x times the frequency, x times the frequency, x times the frequency, x times the frequency, x times the frequency. So I'll do that here. 55 times 10 plus 65 times 14 plus 75 times 6 plus 85 times 5 plus 95 times 5, and divide that all by how many values I have? 40. So this is 550 for sure, plus 65 times 14, that's 910. 75, I don't know if that is 450. 5 times 5, 425. Again, I'm doing this step by step. You could do this literally, you could have done this all in one step. So I've got 2810 divided by 4. So my divided by 40. That's why I got that funny number. 2810 divided by 40, 70.25 is my mean. So this is minus 70.25 squared over 40 minus 1, which is 39 here. Okay, 204,400 minus 40 times 70.25 squared, which is 4935.0625 over 39. I'm going to give that whole numerator to my calculator. Minus 40 times 4935.0625. So this numerator is 6997.5 divided by 39 here. So let's divide that. I get the square root of 179.423. Taking the square root of 179.423. So my standard deviation is 13.39. Woo! That's my standard deviation for this grouped data here. A lot of calculation. I would suggest you take a look at your calculator's manual, or take a look on YouTube and see for your specific calculator how you would perform this function if you're allowed to use that kind of approach.